What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch and review for you. So today we're talking about the newest collection from KBShimmer. We have their Mix It Up Volume 2 collection, which has 9 brand new nail polishes, basically a remix of last year. But before we get into that, if you haven't heard of KBShimmer before, they are an independent nail polish brand that is based in the US, and all their polishes are 5 free, meaning they are free of 5 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They're vegan, meaning they do not use any animal derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So like I said, we've got 9 brand new nail polishes, and last year was the original Mix It Up collection where we had some really fun summer bright cream shades. This year it's a little bit different. I would define these as more of a neon pastel vibe, and then we also have a brand new topper, which is actually a remix of last year's topper, so I'll share that with you as well. But yeah, let's get into the swatches, then we can talk a little bit more about my thoughts on them, pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatches. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today I'm using the KBShimmer base coat. So I guess we'll go in a little bit of like a reverse rainbow here. I'm going to start off with the shade Track Record, and this one is a purple leaning periwinkle neon pastel cream. And I will say this one definitely reads more purple on me than it looks in the bottle, and I think that's because I have a very warm undertone. I think if you have cooler, pinker kind of undertones on your hands, you're gonna see a little bit more of that bluish color coming through. But personally, I love this shade of purple. I think it looks so beautiful, and I actually ended up getting full coverage in 2 coats on this one, so I was very impressed with the opacity and how easy it was to apply. Next up we have the shade Book It, and this one is a warmer toned purple. Again, it has a little bit of that neon pastel vibe to it, and it looked like it was going to be sheer in the first coat, but it also ended up giving me full coverage in the second, which again I found to be very impressive, very easy and smooth to work with. And again, this one I did find looked a little bit warmer on me, so depending on your undertone, I think it is going to look a little bit more cool toned or a little bit more warm like it looks on me. And then we have the shade Crimp My Style, and this one to me looks like more of a neon orchid. Again, I feel like it's just reading a little bit warmer on me, and that's just something that happens when you have such yellow undertones like I do, and I feel like it is reading a little bit more pinky in my swatch, but it's definitely more of that slightly purple undertoned kind of pink. It's a little bit on the cooler side, but again, amazing coverage in 2 coats, super easy to apply, and it's really beautiful. And then we have the shade Playing Hard to Get, and this one is just a super gorgeous neon pink color. I was so excited about this one, and I have to say, so far all of the colors are just so perfectly my style. I'm actually wearing a Skittle of the first 5 shades in this review on my nails in the intro and outro, and also right now, and I think it's so beautiful. This one I did find to be a little bit more sheer, and I think it's just because it's more of a regular neon rather than that thicker neon pastel kind of formula. Once it dried, I felt like I could get away with doing 2 coats, but I wanted to show you what a 3rd coat looked like, and I feel that that really covered up any areas that looked very slightly patchy. So I do think for this one you'll want to do an extra coat, but it still looks really gorgeous, and I do think the formula was thin, so it didn't feel really thick on the nails. Then we have the shade Smack Talking, and this one I would describe as a neon coral cream. Again, it has a little bit of that pastel vibe to it, like it almost looks like it has a white base coat going on, but it ended up giving me such vibrance. It looks so intensely bright on my nails, and honestly, I don't even think my camera captured this one accurately because it is so much more vibrant in person. Now, this one I felt gave me 2 coat coverage in real life, but on camera it looked like it was missing a little bit, so I ended up applying a 3rd just to see, and I will say it pretty much looked the same. I'm wearing this one in 1 coat in my little Skittle manicure, so I feel like I can get away with it on my nail length, but again, this might be one that you have to do an extra coat on. Next up we have the shade Push Your Luck, and this one is a neon pastel orange color, and it is just so fun. It's super bright. It doesn't have that sort of reddish tone to it. It really almost looks like a highlighter kind of color where it's super bright, it's super fun, and it almost looks like it has a white base underneath. But again, this is just full opacity on its own, and once again, I thought in person it looked full coverage in 2 coats, but on camera I felt like I could have done a 3rd coat, so I just wanted to apply that to see how it looked. And again, I think it really just depends on your nail length, and sometimes with polishes like these I can do 2 coats on most of my nails, and then my thumb thumbs, which are a little bit bigger, I end up needing 3 coats, so probably something like that for this type of formula. And then we have the shade Juice the Cutest, and this one is a super electric highlighter neon pastel yellow shade, and I was so excited about this one. I love a neon yellow, especially when it has a cool tone to it, because for some reason I just think that that flatters my skin tone a little bit better. I love that slightly greenish tinge to it. Now, this one definitely needed 3 coats for me, but that was expected. 1, it's a neon. 2, it's a yellow, which tends to be the most sheer color in my opinion. But in 3 coats, it ended up applying so nicely and smoothly, and it is just so vibrant. It feels like a perfect summer yellow. And the final cream shade in the collection is this one, Love Bytes, and this one is a neon lime green. And this one again has a little bit of that pastel vibe to it. It did look a little bit sheer on the first coat, so I had a feeling this was going to be another one that did require 3 coats for full coverage. It was honestly almost there in 2, but it was just a little bit patchy, so I ended up applying a 3rd coat, and it gave me perfect coverage. I was really impressed with how vibrant this green was, though. I was absolutely not expecting it to be so intense, and again, like that white undertone to it just makes it look so much brighter and even more fun. So really loved this one, and again, it really didn't feel thick on the nails at all. And the final shade of this collection is a topper. This is called Ex-Static, and this is a white matte glitter topper that has a bunch of different shapes going on in it. So we've got little circular glitters, star glitters, squares, triangles, we've got hex glitters. Honestly, it's a super fun vibe. This is actually a remix of a polish that they did last summer. They did basically the same exact topper but in black, and that is definitely one of my favorite toppers, so I was super excited to see a white version of it. Now, as far as application goes, you definitely can get the larger glitters onto the brush and just apply it normally, but my preference with glitters like this, especially when there's shapes, is I like to have them pretty uniform across the nail. Like, I don't want to have a section that has like 4 stars in it and then almost nothing on the bottom. So what I like to do is wipe most of the brush off and then apply all of the smallest glitters and then go in with the brush and just kind of dab on the bigger glitters. So that's what I like to do for my swatches, but you can really apply it any way you want. It was super easy to work with. It's super fun, and I think it really suits, honestly, all of the colors in this collection. All the colors really look so nice with each other, and they also look really nice with this topper. But yeah, let's actually talk a little bit more about the collection. Okay, so here's all the shades together, and I am totally in love with this color story. They flow so nicely together. I love the way that all of these colors look, and I truly could not even imagine just wearing one of them, because how pretty are they just flowing into each other like a rainbow. I had to wear 5 of them at once, and I honestly think that my next manicure is going to be 5 of them as well, and they can all be brought together with that topper too. I just think this is such a fun collection. Super vibrant, super bright, but it's not like too neon where it's like that darker neon kind of color. This feels like a sun bleached kind of neon, which is really fun, and I think I don't know, it just feels like staple kind of colors that you should have in your collection. The formula was really good, they were easy to apply, and they just end up looking really smooth and creamy on the nails. So definitely enjoyed this collection. I am going to be wearing it a lot this season, and I have a feeling it's going to be great for nail art as well. I think that this would be such a beautiful color story to try to do some water marbling with, which I don't think I've done since like last summer. So maybe I'll give it another go with these, because these colors just flow too perfectly together. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about my thoughts on the collection, and then I do have a little note about the formula that I want to talk about as well. So let's get into that. So yeah, those are the polishes, and honestly, I loved them. I was so impressed with these. The colors are absolutely gorgeous. I really enjoyed last year's Mix It Up collection, which I'll link in the cards if you haven't seen it before. But I do have to say, I think I prefer this year's collection just because the color story is so incredible, and I really love those like pastel neon vibes. And like I said, I love the way that these look together. I think they're just so perfect for Skittle manicures. As far as formulas go, I really did enjoy these. They were definitely super opaque. I found them easy to work with, but they aren't as self-leveling as some other polishes can be, so just something to keep in mind. But I did find that even if I wasn't perfect with application, I was still able to smooth it out evenly with top coat, and one of my go-to top coats is the KBShimmer Clearly on Top Quick Dry top coat, so I do think that those pair really nicely together. But yeah, like I said, overall I think this collection was a win for me. So now let's get into pricing and availability. All these polishes are on the KBShimmer website. They come in the usual $15 15 milliliter bottles, and they do feature a wide flat brush that has a rounded tip, so application super easy. And they retail for $12 USD each, so I will link that down in the description. I'm also going to link the top coat just in case you haven't tried it before. Definitely one of my favorites, and it's a very good price point, so I do highly recommend that. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this collection? What do you think of the formulas? Have you picked any up yet, or are you planning to? And which do you prefer, the original Mix It Up or the Mix It Up Volume 2? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Okay, I have a silly one for today. Would you rather if every food tasted like pickles, or if every drink you drank tasted like root beer? So for me, the answer is easy. I'm gonna say pickles. I wouldn't mind if everything tasted like pickles. I'm actually like currently going through a little bit of a pickle obsession, where like I feel like a lot of brands are doing like pickle flavored chips and snacks and stuff, and I'm buying all of them. And the other day I had this salad that was like dill pickle salad, and it was so good. So definitely would choose that. On the other hand, I hate root beer. I have never enjoyed the flavor of it. I genuinely do not understand the hype for root beer. I think it is possibly the grossest beverage, and I feel like everyone loves it, and I'm just like missing whatever taste bud it is that makes root beer taste good, because to me it tastes very bad. But I'm curious to hear your answer, so leave it in the comments, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!